Okay, welcome part 3. This is part 3. We're hacking misfires with a Uscope. I want to tell you right now, I'm thinking about if we proved out engine mechanical, if we had good relative compression, good valve action, a good crankcase, a good in-cylinder, if it went that far, nothing wrong with going that far to prove out cylinder integrity. Now I'm going to think about fuel and spark. If we prove good mechanical, I'm basically I'm going to start on my current ramp, the ignition coils, looking for that one coil that may be shorted, one coil that may be open. So I'm gonna fire it up. I got a fuse buddy on the car, inside the car, pretty easy to access on this Honda with the amp clamp on it. I'll start it up, make my adjustments, and we'll see what's happening. Okay, we got current ramp. Those are the ignition coils. This is a 4-cylinder. I will kind of change the time base so maybe we can get on individual cylinders. Let's go here. Now you can look at an individual cylinder, and I'll go back this way, and that's what it looks like. They all look pretty good. I'm going to check them individually, or check at least one individually to see what a known good one looks like. I will move the clamp. Nonetheless, I'm going to create a misfire, and this is what it would look like. You see that guy go away? All right, now put it back. Okay, obviously gone away and back. That's a misfire. That's what it would look like if one were missing. Then we also want to know you can still have an active signal, but it could be wrong. It could be, I'll show you the shape of a good one. So let's get the clamp away from the fuse buddy, and we'll do the one on an individual cylinder. Okay. Now I'm going to an individual cylinder to see what a good one looks like. And okay, I'm gonna set a trigger now with the tool so we can start walking around the screen. Trigger, okay, normal, and then okay, we're triggered right there about halfway. Let me change the time base so we can look at that cylinder. I'm on cylinder number 4, on the number 4 coil, so I want to get the time base changed. You can kind of look up on that. Okay, we're looking good there. Okay, we'll freeze it. We'll look at the clamp. We don't have doesn't look shorted. We got a good up ramp. We're not going straight up, which would indicate a short. Let me freeze it. We'll measure the current. We're on hold. Open the triggers. There's a conversion factor, which I'll tell you about. The cursors. Okay, we got vertical 1, and we're going down here. Vertical 1, that's the top of the point right there. Let's see what that is. And that's going to give me something in volts. Okay, that is, it looks like 856 millivolts. Okay, so the conversion on this clamp, this Pico clamp, is 100 millivolts per amp. So when we have 856 millivolts, we're going to say that that's about 8.56 amps. So that's something you can do. You probably can split hairs better with the cursors. I just want to show you an idea how to use that. And look at your clamp, and your clamp always has a conversion factor. If your clamp isn't custom probe, you can probably custom probe it to this scope. I'm just kind of doing it this way, but believe me, this scope, you can look at current. You can work the scope more, and it will show you current. I'm just kind of doing it sort of raw and doing it with a conversion in my head. So you got either way you can do it, but we're looking about 8 amps on the peak of that current. I will now go to the fuel injectors and we'll look at them. Let's turn the scope back on, and I will go to I'll unhold it, open it up. I will go to okay, I'll trigger it. We'll go to the current, we'll go to the injectors. We're going to go to all 4 injectors at a junction spot on the car. Okay. Let's see. we're not reading the trigger level. See that? We're triggered for ignition, so I want to get out of trigger and go to automatic. Auto. Okay, now we go. Now you got to do a time base. See, I was high triggered there, so you got to always change your trigger if you go between ignition and injection. So let's go. We can see some action, and then we'll go to voltage. Not the other way. Now we're gonna look at our injectors. Now we got. Let's get at least 4 of them on the screen. Okay, we got at least 4. Okay, we'll go in sequence. We can look at all the injectors. Take a look at that. Those are all fuel injectors. We'll key in on. I'll do an individual one so you can see. I will disconnect once, and then you'll see the odd man out. See the guy go away? The big gap there. Now they're back to better. Now the gap that's missing. That obviously would be a misfire right there. Let me go to an individual injector, and we'll look at that. Okay. Upside down, my bad. That's our injector. Let's get the time base better so we can kind of look at okay, that's our injector. Looking good. We're dropping out every now and then. Could be interference. Well, we're not triggered, that's why. Let me go to the trigger. Okay, now we're triggered. I normal trigger. You can see the yellow trigger line halfway between. So that's a good looking pattern. I will freeze that. Obviously, let's look at our turn on right here. Real important. We don't see any up ramp, any straight going up. That would indicate a short injector. We got a good ramp. I don't see the pintle hump. But nonetheless, we can, again, we're chasing a misfire. So we may, if we saw something in our parade pattern that we didn't like and we wanted to key in on a specific injector, this is the way to go. We will look at, I will now look at injector voltage, and I'll show you some other things there. So we got a good current ramp. We want to look at the injector, look at the flyback and the voltage. So I will get the clamp off. The clamp will give the clamp a rest. We're going to get on some regular scales. Look at okay. Basically 2 leads. I'll ground 1 lead, and then I'll go to a fuel injector. Okay. Back to running. Okay, we're not hooked up. We've got to go right to here. Get this guy off. This is regular lead mode. And the ground lead. And now we're going to look at injectors. I am not using an attenuator. I've had good luck. I can't guarantee these. If you're concerned about the flyback this volt, Uscope can handle 80 volts. My injector is less than that, but please, you have that free will to use an attenuator. I would use one. It's just, it's almost like don't be like me, but nonetheless, I've had good luck. I've been checking injectors on this car for years, and I hadn't had an issue. But nonetheless, do your research. Maybe check it on another scope, know what the flyback voltage, how high it goes. This scope can handle 80 volts unattenuated from what I remember, what I've heard. Okay. That's our injector. We'll get into that now. I gotta do some adjustments here. Okay, and we're looking like more like an injector right there. Let me get a trigger, and we'll analyze it. Okay, we're triggered about halfway. That's an injector pattern. That looks good. That looks really good. And remember again, we're searching for a misfire. We're clipped. How high do we go on the flyback? Let me go here. Okay. We're looking about 10 per division, 10, 20, 30, about 65, and we're clipped. But that's a good looking injector. We see our pulse width. We would measure that get an idea. You know, I don't want to measure it because you learn what good opening rates are. You know, if you saw 12 milliseconds at idle, that'd be definitely something to look into. That may be an input issue. But nonetheless, let's freeze that and talk about. I want to talk about the ground load from the PCM. So I'm gonna stretch it a little bit, and I want to show something. I want to go down right here. Okay, I'm gonna freeze that. Okay, I'm holding that. See, now I just stretched that, and that basically kind of will mirror our injector current ramp. That tells us how the driver inside the PCM, the voltage drop across. Actually, it's the test point through the driver in the PCM, through the PCM, and on the ground. So let's kind of, you have that frozen. Let's look at that voltage drop, because that's real important. We're going to go to trigger. Cursors. Okay. Vertical 1. Okay. No, not bad. Okay, I'm going to go to the top of the thing, and then vertical 2. That's our voltage drop. We should, if I did everything right. If we look at we're dropping about 300 millivolts across that injector. That's a good voltage drop. That's not bad. Okay, we saw something through the roof over a volt. That's something to be. I really stretched that thing out. It's not broken. It's just been really granulated with the vertical. I guess you call it vertical zoom, vertical stretch. That's a 300 millivolt drop across the injector driver. Okay. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I will be back with more fuel and spark. Thanks.